Hey, Rob here. Welcome to the first ever Woodstock Wednesday, where every Wednesday I send you a quick tip or trick using Woodstock audio plugins to help you make your music sound better. Today's tip relates to release time on your compressor. And I've heard many times over the years to think of release time as timing the compressor, letting go of the signal to the tempo of the track. And I've personally never found that very helpful. And there's a lot of room for interpretation there. And surely if you took that to its logical conclusion, you would then just treat it like a mathematical equation. Say, for example, you figure out what one beat is in milliseconds. But over the years, I've started to think of release time a lot more as my aggression control. So when we're dialing in our compressor, the first step, of course, is to choose our ratio and reduce the threshold until we're getting some compression. We can add some makeup gain. And then from there, I'll be thinking about my attack and release. Now, attack time is pretty straightforward. I think it's easy to understand the concept of how much transient we're letting through. With slow attack times, we're letting through quite a lot of transient. With fast attack times, we're really grabbing it. And you can see that quite clearly here in the waveform display. If you go to waveform mode, so you can see this nice big screen here, it helps you tweak this kind of stuff and see what impact it's having. You can also zoom in here too, if it makes it easier to see. For now, I'm going to reduce this makeup gain. FYI, Open Compressor 2 is coming very soon. It's going to be a free upgrade for everyone who owns Open Compressor 1, and makeup gain won't reflect what you see here. So regardless of how much makeup gain you have applied, you'll be able to see the waveform more clearly. But in this case, we're still on 1. I'm going to get rid of that makeup gain so we can actually see the after waveform before that makeup has been applied. If we use a slow attack, we can see a lot of that transient still getting through. It's still getting clamped down. Go a bit further back so we get that first hit. Now let's do a fast attack. Now we're really grabbing it. So pretty straightforward. Slow attack, you get more transient, sounds more aggressive. Fast attack, you control your transients more, which is often better from a mastering perspective to manage those really loud peaks and get us some headroom so we can make the whole track louder, but it can also create a thicker sound. Cool. Now, release time is where it gets a little bit trickier. So if you just throw out that idea of timing the release to the track, and there can be situations where that's helpful, but instead think of your release control as how aggressive you want the compressor to sound and act. Because when we have slow releases, the compressor's never fully letting go of the signal. It's going to move a lot more slowly, and I think of it as kind of gently massaging the audio. When we have a fast attack time, the compressor's moving a lot more quickly, and that just means it's working a lot harder. We've got more radical changes in volume. And then if we compare the very extremes, it becomes even more apparent. So now listen to what happens if I make this even more aggressive, high ratio, harder knee, bring down the threshold a little bit, and fast attack. Listen to how tonally and energetically it just feels more and more aggressive as we bring down that release time. The next question naturally is, well, which is right or wrong? When should you use a slower, kind of gentler release time or a faster, more aggressive release time? And that's where it simply comes down to taste. Listen to your references, think about how emotionally you want this track or this channel to feel? Do you want it to feel like it's really pushing things forwards? And on a vocal, do you want it to feel like they're spitting the words out and they're singing really aggressively? Does that enhance the emotion and the artistic intent of the song that you're working on? Or do you want to slow things down a little bit, have it feel smoother, gooier, more relaxed? And then equally, sometimes we just like the sounds of certain things. Some things sound good with really heavy aggressive compression. It's just a taste thing. And other things we like to have that kind of smooth, rounded off sound. Now, there's a lot of other settings in the compressor that have a similar impact. On one end of the spectrum, we've got fast and aggressive. On the other end of the spectrum, we have slow and smooth. Release time is one of them. But also, as you switch from peak, which is like fast response, to RMS and slow down the RMS window, it has a similar impact, both in terms of what's happening to the compressor, it's just slowing things down, but then also the impact that has on how it sounds and how it feels. Equally, when we go from feed forward, which is quite snappy, to feed back, it just slows everything down a bit. Have a little play around with these two. Have a play around with your release time and start thinking in terms of aggression, fast being more aggressive, slow being less aggressive. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Leave a comment below with what you'd like to see next. If there's any element of Open Compressor you'd like me to break down more, or just talk about compression in general. If you don't have Open Compressor yet, it is on sale right now, so go and check it out at woodstockaudio.com. Also keep an eye out for more information in the next couple of months regarding Open Compressor 2, which again is going to be a free upgrade for anyone who owns Open Compressor 1. Okay, thanks for watching.